Romeo and Juliet, Act 1, Scenes 2, 3, and 4. Just to recap, remember that there was a large fight between the Capulets and Montague's servants in the town. The prince broke them up and formally warned both Lord Capulet and Montague. So Capulet enters with County Paris. County means a count or title of nobility, followed by Peter, a servant. Capulet, continuing a conversation. But Montague has sworn an oath just like I have, and he's under the same penalty. I don't think it will be hard for men as old as we are to keep the peace. Paris, you both have honorable reputations, and it's too bad you've been enemies for so long. But what do you say to my request? I can only repeat what I've said before. My daughter is still very young. She's not even 14 years old. Let's wait 2 more summers before we start thinking she's ready to get married. Girls younger than she often marry and become happy mothers. Girls who marry so young grow up too soon. But go ahead and charm her, gentle Paris. Make her love you. My permission is only part of her decision. If she agrees to marry you, my blessing and fair words will confirm her choice. Tonight, I'm having a feast that we've celebrated for many years. I've invited many of my closest friends, and I'd like to welcome you and add you to the guest list. At my humble house tonight, you can expect to see dazzling stars that walk on the ground and light the sky from below. You'll be delighted by young women as fresh as spring flowers. Look at anyone you like and choose whatever woman seems best to you. Once you see a lot of girls, you might not think my daughter's the best anymore. Come along with me. To Peter, handing him a paper. Go, little fellow, walk all around Verona. Find the people on this list and tell them they're welcome at my house tonight. Capulets and Paris exit. Peter, find the people whose names are on this list. Is it written that shoemakers and tailors should play with each other's tools, that fishermen should play with paints, and painters should play with fishing nets? But I have been sent to find the people whose names are written on this list, and I can't read. I'll never find them on my own. I've got to find somebody who knows how to read to help me. But here are some people right in the nick of time. Benvolio and Romeo enter. To Romeo, come on, man. You can put out one fire by starting another. A new pain will make the one you already have seem less. If you make yourself dizzy, you can cure yourself by spinning back around in the opposite direction. A new grief will put the old one out of your mind. Make yourself lovesick by gazing at some new girl, and your old love sickness will be cured. The plantain leaf is excellent for that. The plantain leaf was thought to have healing powers. For what, Romeo? For when you cut your shin. What, Romeo, are you crazy? I'm not crazy, but I'm tied up tighter than a mental patient in a straitjacket. I'm locked up in a prison and deprived of food. I'm whipped and tortured. To Peter, good evening, good fellow. May God give you a good evening. Excuse me, sir, do you know how to read? I can read my own fortune in my misery. Perhaps you've learned from life and not from books, but please tell me, can you read anything you see? Yes, if I know the language and the letters. I see. Peter assumes Romeo means he doesn't know his letters. That's an honest answer. Have a nice day. Stay, fellow, I can read. He reads the letter. Signor Martino and his wife and daughters. Count Anselme and his beautiful sisters. Retruvio's widow. Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces. Mercutio and his brother Valentine. My uncle Capulet and his wife and daughters. My fair niece Rosalind and Livia. Signor Valentino and his cousin Tybalt. Lucio and the lively Helena. That's a nice group of people. Where are they supposed to come? Up. Where? To supper? To our house. Whose house? My master's house. Indeed, I should have asked you before who he was. No, I'll tell you so you don't have to ask. My master is the great and rich Capulet, and if you don't belong to the house of Montague, please come and drink a cup of wine. Have a nice day. Peter exits. Benvolio, the beautiful Rosalind, whom you love so much, will be at Capulet's traditional feast, along with every other beautiful woman in Verona. Go there and compare her objectively to some other girls I'll show you. The woman who you think is as beautiful as a swan is going to look as ugly as a cow to you. If my eyes ever lied to me like that, let my tears turn into flames and burn them for being such obvious liars. A woman more beautiful than the one I love? The sun itself has never seen anyone as beautiful since the world began. Come on, you first decided she was beautiful when no one else was around. There was no one to compare her to except herself. But let your eyes compare her to another beautiful woman, who I'll show you at this feast, and you won't think she's the best anymore. I'll go with you, not because I think you'll show me anything better, but so I can see the woman I love. They exit. At this time, I would pause and answer the questions in your Google Doc for Scene 2. Act 1, Scene 3. Lady Capulet and the nurse enter. Lady Capulet, Nurse, where's my daughter? Tell her to come to me. I swear to you by my virginity at age 12. I already told her to come. Come on, where is she? What is she doing? What? Juliet? Juliet enters. What is this? Who's calling me? Your mother. Madame, I'm here. What do you want? I'll tell you what's the matter, nurse. Leave us alone for a little while. We must talk privately. Nurse, come back here. I just remembered. You can listen to our secrets. You know how young my daughter is. Oh yes, I know her age down to the hour. She's not even 14. I'd bet 14 of my own teeth, yes. But I'm sorry to say I only have 4 teeth. She's not 14. How long is it until Lamistide, which means August 1st? 2 weeks and a few odd days. Whether it's even or odd, of all the days in the year, on that night of Lammas Eve, she'll be 14. She and Susan, God rest her and all Christian souls, were born on the same day. Well, Susan died and is with God. She was too good for me. But like I said, on the night of Lammas Eve, she will be 14. Yes, she will. Indeed, I remember it well. It's been 11 years since that earthquake. She stopped nursing from my breast on that very day. I'll never forget it. I had put bitter wormwood on my breast as I was sitting in the sun under the wall of the Dove house. You and your husband were in Mantua. Boy, do I have some memory. But like I said, when she tasted the bitter wormwood on my nipple, the pretty little babe got irritated and started to quarrel with my breast. Then the Dove house shook with the earthquake. There was no need to tell me to get out of there. That was 11 years ago. By then, she could stand up all by herself. No, I swear, by that time she could run and waddle all around. I remember because she had a cut on her forehead just the day before. My husband, God rest his soul, was a happy man, picked up the child. Oh, he said, did you fall on your face? You'll fall backward when you grow smarter, won't you, Jewel? Fall backward is a phrase to mean having sex. And I swear the poor pretty thing stopped crying and said yes. Oh, to watch a joke come true. I bet if I live 1,000 years I'll never forget it. Won't you, Jewel? He said, and the pretty fool stopped crying and said yes. Enough of this. Please be quiet. Yes, madame, but I can't help laughing to think that baby stopped crying and said yes. I swear she had a bump on her forehead as big as a rooster's testicle. It was a painful bruise, and she was crying bitterly. Yes, said my husband. Did you fall on your face? You'll fall backward when you grow up, won't you, Jewel? And she stopped crying and said yes. Now you stop too, nurse, please. Peace. I'm done talking. May God choose you to receive his grace. You are the prettiest baby I ever nursed. If I live to see you get married someday, all my wishes will come true. Well, marriage is exactly what we have to discuss. Tell me, my daughter Juliet, what is your attitude about getting married? It is an honor that I do not dream of. An honor? If I weren't your only nurse, I'd say you had sucked wisdom from the breast that fed you. Lady Capulet, well, start thinking about marriage now. Here in Verona, there are girls younger than you, girls from noble families, who have already become mothers. By my count, I was already your mother at just about your age, while you remain a virgin. Well then, I'll say this quickly. The valiant Paris wants you as his bride. What a man, young lady. He's as great a man as any in the whole world. He's as perfect as if he were sculpted from wax. Summertime in Verona has no flower as fine as him. No, he's a fine flower, truly a flower. Lady Capulet to Juliet, what do you say? Can you love this gentleman? Tonight you'll see him at our feast. Study Paris's face and find pleasure in his beauty. Examine every line of his features and see how they work together to make him handsome. If you are confused, just look into his eyes. This man is single. and he lacks only a bride to make him perfect and complete. As is right, fish live in the sea, and it's wrong for a beauty like you to hide from a handsome man like him. Many people think he's handsome, and whoever becomes his bride will be just as admired. You would share all that he possesses, and by having him, you would lose nothing. Lose nothing? In fact, you'd get bigger. Men make women bigger by getting them pregnant. Give us a quick answer. Can you accept Paris's love? I'll look at him and try to like him, at least if what I see is likable, but I won't let myself fall for him any more than your permission allows. Peter enters. Madame, your guests are here. Dinner is served. People are calling for you. People have asked for Juliet, and in the pantry people are cursing the nurse. Everything's out of control. I must go and serve the guests. Please follow straight after me. We'll follow you. Juliet, the Count is waiting for you. Go, girl. Look for a man who will give you happy nights to the end of happy days. They all exit. At this time, I would pause and answer the questions for Scene 3. Act 1, Scene 4. Romeo, Mercutio, and Benvolio enter dressed as maskers, along with 5 or 6 other maskers carrying a drum and torches. Maskers are masked partygoers who perform a dance they've invented at a party. What will we say is our excuse for being here, or should we enter without apologizing? It's out of fashion to give lengthy explanations like that. We're not going to introduce our dance by having someone dress up as Cupid, blindfolded and carrying a toy bow to frighten the ladies like a scarecrow. Nor are we going to recite a memorized speech to introduce ourselves. Let them judge us however they please. We'll give them a dance and then hit the road. Give me a torch. I don't want to dance. I feel sad, so let me be the one that carries the light. No, noble Romeo, you've got to dance. Not me, believe me. You're wearing dancing shoes with nimble soles. My soul is made out of lead, and it's so heavy it keeps me stuck on the ground so I can't move. You're a lover. Take Cupid's wing and fly higher than the average man. His arrow has pierced me too deeply, so I can't fly high with his cheerful feathers, because his wound keeps me down. I can't leap any higher than my dull sadness. I sink under the heavy weight of love. If you sink, you're dragging love down. It's not right to drag down something as tender as love. Is love really tender? I think it's tough, too rude, too rowdy, and it pricks like a thorn. If love plays rough with you, play rough with love. If you prick love when it pricks you, you'll beat love down. Give me a mask to put my face in, a mask to put over my other mask. What do I care if some curious person sees my flaws? Let this mask with its black eyebrows blush for me. Mercutio is suggesting that Romeo cure himself of love by having sex. Benvolio, come on, let's knock and go in. The minute we get in, let's all start dancing. I'll take a torch, not let playful people with light hearts dance. There's an old saying that applies to me. You can't lose if you don't play the game. I'll just hold a torch and watch you guys. It looks like a lot of fun, but I'll sit this one out. Hey, you're being a stick in the mud, as cautious as a policeman on night patrol. If you're a stick in the mud, we'll pull you out of the mud. I mean out of love. If you'll excuse me for being so rude. Were you stuck up to your ears? Come on, we're wasting precious daylight. Let's go. No, we're not. It's night. I mean, we're wasting the light of our torches by delaying, which is like wasting the sunshine during the day. Use your common sense to figure out what I mean, instead of trying to be clever or trusting your 5 senses. We mean well by going to this masquerade ball, but it's not smart of us to go. Why, may I ask? I had a dream last night. So did I. Well, what was your dream? My dream told me that dreamers often lie. They lie in bed while they dream about the truth. Oh, then I see you've been with Queen Mab. Queen is slang for whore, and Mab is a stereotypical prostitute's name. Who is Queen Mab? She's the fairy's midwife. She's no bigger than the stone on a city councilman's ring. She rides around in a wagon drawn by tiny little atoms, and she rides over men's noses as they lie sleeping. The spokes of her wagon are made of spiders' legs. The cover of her wagon is made of grasshoppers' wings. The harnesses are made out of the smallest spider webs. The collars are made out of moonbeams. Her whip is a thread attached to a cricket's bone. Her wagon driver is a tiny bug in a gray coat. He's not half the size of a little round worm that comes from the finger of a lazy young girl. Her chariot is a hazelnut shell. It was made by a carpenter squirrel or an old glubworm.